I'm out here on the island today. There's a tropical storm, but it's not really nearby. It's a little rainy, a little wet, but nothing to get too excited about. So I kept my appointments for today, and I actually posted a blog. There's another blog that I write called theconsultingcpa.com, and I posted this entry on that website today, and it's about what I do on the beginning and the end of appointments. For business owners in general, when you're in a lot of meetings, I think this has a lot of application to it. To set my appointments up, I try to have time on the front and time on the back that I consider part of those appointments. They're bookends. And the front bookend just requires like 5 minutes. So the first thing, you guys probably heard me talk about this before, is like start your meetings with an agenda. I want to quickly go back over the agenda. It takes me less than a minute to look at the agenda. It's just bullet points. And I'm thinking, is there anything else that's come up since I last looked at this? It might have been a day, it might have even been an hour, but usually something will hit me that I want to add to that agenda. I might pencil that in on my copy just to make sure I don't forget it. That's maybe a minute or two. Then the next thing that I do as part of that front bookend is I will think about who I might run into as I'm walking through the business to the appointment. There's usually a front desk person, and so I'm thinking about these people, and I want to make sure that I remember their names, because some of them I don't work with directly all the time. So if I don't know, I'll look those names up in my contact manager real quick to make sure I know everybody that I might run into, and just to be aware of, you know, hey, be on the lookout for this person, because I want to be perceived, I want to be pleasant to the people that I run into, and if I prepare myself a little bit, then that's more likely to happen. The next thing is I just spend a few minutes being thankful for my clients. I think that's really, really important. We can get wound up in really busy days, and clients can seem like a burden sometimes if you're really stressed out or you got a lot of stuff going on. And I remind myself that my clients are the reason that I do this. They provide for my family, they provide for my business, they provide the intellectual challenge that this job is, that makes this job so much fun. And I just spend a few minutes thanking God for my clients and being grateful that I'm going to get to spend time with them, and reminding myself that their best interest is my first priority, and I really need to go after that enthusiastically. That puts me in a frame of mind where I can be at my best. And I try to do that all right before I walk in the door. All right, so now the appointment's over. I literally just walked out in the rain, got a little wet, but thank you, Judy. Appreciate the umbrella. And this is my post, this is the back end, this is the last part of the bookend. This is what I do after the appointments. I come in, and the very first thing is I'm in a frame of mind where I'm still working on this client. There's a big tendency to jump in the car and move on to the next thing. But getting in a frame of mind where I know I'm not done yet is really important, because I need to do a few things. Number one, I go back through my notes and I fill in the blanks. There are like snippets of sentences, there are pieces of diagrams, there's stuff that I just jotted down in a hurry because I didn't want to miss it. But I know if I don't clean that up a week from now, I'm not going to know what it means. So I make an effort to go in and clean up all of my notes, make sure that those are nice and squared away. The other thing I do is I take any commitments that I've made and I put them on my master to-do list, which I carry around with me in my back pocket all the time. This is that list. You guys have heard me talk about that some maybe. And then anything the client's committed to, I stick that in Basecamp, and that's a place where it's shared with them and they can see what they have to do. And they get reminders on due dates and stuff like that. So I take all the action items that happened as part of that meeting, and I make sure that those go in the spot that they're supposed to go. And then the next thing I do is when that stuff's done, my notes are cleaned up, I take out my phone. I got an app on here called Scanner Pro. There's a blog post, I'll link to that in the area underneath. But I take Scanner Pro and I take a picture of my notes, and also any handouts. There were some documents that went back and forth with the client. I gave them some stuff, they gave me some stuff. That goes in one of these little blue portfolio things. So I'll include all of that in one PDF. The notes that I took in my journal and the stuff that the client handed me. And using the workflow in Scanner Pro, it's really easy for me to ship that stuff off to Evernote. That's where I keep all my client notes. Then when that's done, there's probably some stuff that I could bang out right now. This is the big thing. This whole process usually takes me about 10 minutes to clean up the notes, snap the pictures, get the PDFs up. The biggest share of that, getting the PDF into Evernote, is like 20 seconds. That's not a big deal at all. But the big part is going back through my notes, really thinking about what was said, thinking about what needs to happen next, putting legs underneath the execution piece of whatever we're doing. That takes a little bit of time, and I try to be thoughtful about that. And then hopefully I've still got like 5 minutes left in me, and I'll look at that list of things that I got to do, and I'll be like, I can get some of this done right now. And with my iPad propped up here on the steering wheel, I can bang. It might be emails, follow-up emails to different partners that we're working with. It might be calling a vendor. I'll just get on my phone. If there's something we said we need this from a vendor, I'll get on the phone, I'll talk to the vendor and be like, this is what we're working on, this is what we need, you know, what's involved in getting it, give me a price, or if it's part of their engagement already, when can you have it back to me? I'll send follow-up emails to people who weren't here that are normally here. In today's case, the business owner wasn't here, so I might send a follow-up email to him. And just getting work done. That's some of the most productive time I can spend, because whatever I'm working on is incredibly relevant right now. It's not going to be any more relevant than it is right now. And if I can knock that work out and turn it around, and for the benefit of the client, it's huge productivity gains for me. And some of the most valuable time you'll ever spend is the 15 minutes after an appointment in your client's parking lot or your customer's parking lot, where you're actually getting the work done that needs to get done. That's it. Raining like crazy. Supposed to go to lunch right now. Don't feel like getting wet. But I got another appointment to go to. See you guys tomorrow. These boats are literally at street level. The water is exactly the same level as the street.